The quiet kid's secret. Bullies messed with the wrong student. Noah Bennett stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror of Westridge High School, adjusting his oversized glasses for the 5th time that morning. At 16, he was neither particularly tall nor athletic, just an average-looking kid with mousy brown hair that always seemed to fall across his forehead, no matter how many times he pushed it back. His slender frame and tendency to hunch his shoulders made him appear even smaller than he actually was. Being the new kid was hard enough, but being the principal's son made everything infinitely worse. The fluorescent lights flickered above him, casting harsh shadows that accentuated the dark circles under his eyes, evidence of another restless night spent worrying about what fresh torment awaited him today. His pale skin seemed almost translucent under the unforgiving school lighting, making the fading yellowish bruise on his forearm from last week's accidental collision in the hallway stand out even more. "Just get through today," he whispered to himself, his breath slightly fogging the mirror. Just like yesterday and the day before that, he straightened his plain blue shirt, tugging at the hem that never seemed to hang quite right on his frame, and slung his worn backpack over one shoulder. Noah had transferred to Westridge High 3 months ago when his mother, Dr. Eleanor Bennett, had accepted the position as the school's new principal. The move had been difficult for both of them, especially coming only 2 years after Noah's father had passed away from a sudden heart attack while teaching a jiu-jitsu class. The memory of that day still haunted Noah. The call from the dojo, the rush to the hospital, the devastating news delivered in a sterile waiting room that smelled of antiseptic and despair. His mother had thought a fresh start would be good. For them, a chance to rebuild in a place where every street corner and restaurant didn't hold memories of his father. Noah wasn't convinced. From his first day, he'd tried to keep his connection to the principal a secret. He used his father's last name, Bennett, while his mother still professionally went by her maiden name, Dr. Eleanor Richardson. It had worked for about 2 weeks before Tyler Jackson, the self-appointed king of Westridge High's social hierarchy, had somehow figured it out. Tyler was a senior, captain of the wrestling team, with broad shoulders and a perpetual smirk that seemed carved into his face. At 17, he already stood over 6 feet tall, his athletic build intimidating to most students and even some teachers. His dark hair was always perfectly styled, and the expensive clothes he wore made it clear his family had money, something he never failed to lord over those he deemed beneath him. His 2 constant companions, Drake Wilson, a tall, lanky basketball player with a mean streak as sharp as his elbows, and Marcus Peters, a stocky football player with a buzz cut and thick neck who seemed to laugh at everything Tyler said, had immediately joined in, making Noah's life miserable. Noah gathered his books and headed to his first class, trying to become invisible in the crowded hallway. Westridge High was an imposing brick building that had been renovated multiple times over its 70-year history, creating a maze-like interior of wide hallways and narrow passages that never seemed to lead where you expected. The walls were lined with trophy cases and school spirit banners in the blue and gold colors that adorned everything from the lockers to the floor tiles. He'd nearly made it when he felt a shoulder slam into him from behind, sending his books scattering across the floor. "Oops, sorry, principal's pet." Tyler's voice rang out loud enough for everyone to hear. "Didn't see you there. Maybe you should wear a bright vest or something so people know when Mommy's little spy is around." Laughter rippled through the hallway as Noah knelt to gather his things, his face burning with humiliation. Don't react. Don't give them what they want, he thought, repeating the mantra he'd developed over the past months. "What, nothing to say?" Drake joined in, kicking one of Noah's textbooks further down the hall. "Not going to run to Mommy and tell on us?" "Maybe he can't speak without Mommy's permission," Marcus added, generating another wave of laughter. Noah finished collecting his books, stood up without making eye contact, and continued walking. He could have fought back. He knew he could. Before his father died, they had spent years practicing Brazilian jiu-jitsu together. Noah had earned his purple belt just months before the car accident that took his father's life. After that, he'd stopped attending classes, the memories too painful to confront. But it wasn't just the memories that kept him from defending himself. Noah had promised his mother he wouldn't cause any trouble. "It's hard enough being the new principal," she had told him. "I need to establish my authority without any complications." Noah understood what she meant. Any fights he got into would reflect poorly on her leadership, so he endured the bullying silently, day after day. The cafeteria was another battleground, with its long tables arranged in neat rows, flickering, fluorescent lights overhead, and the constant cacophony of teenage voices competing with the clatter of plastic trays. It was Noah's least favorite place in the entire school. The smell of institutional food, a strange mix of overcooked vegetables and processed meat, hung in the air, mingling with the scent of cheap cleaning products. Noah sat alone at the far end of a table, picking at his lunch while trying to read a book. He felt the presence before he heard them. Tyler and his crew settling in around him. Reading during lunch? What a nerd, Tyler said, snatching the book from Noah's hands. Let's see what Principal Junior likes to read. Give it. Back, Noah said quietly. The first words he'd spoken to them in weeks. Oh, it speaks, Marcus exclaimed, feigning shock. Tyler flipped through the pages of the book, a worn copy of The Count of Monte Cristo that had belonged to Noah's father. Boring, he declared, dropping it into Noah's water glass. Noah watched helplessly. As the pages began to soak up the liquid, the ink starting to blur, he reached for the book, but Drake knocked his hand away. You know what I heard? Drake said, leaning in conspiratorially. I heard his mom only got the job because the school board felt sorry for them after his dad kicked the bucket. Noah's fists clenched under the table. Don't react. Don't make it. Worse for Mom. Is that true, Noah? Tyler asked with mock concern. Did Mommy get a pity job because Daddy couldn't stick around? Something in Noah snapped. He stood up suddenly, his chair screeching against the floor. The cafeteria went quiet, all eyes turning toward their table. For a moment, Tyler looked startled, perhaps even a little afraid, but then Noah simply grabbed his wet book and walked away, the sound of their laughter following him out the door. Carter, the English teacher, noticed Noah's red eyes when he slipped into her classroom early. Everything okay, Noah? She asked gently. Fine, he mumbled, taking his usual seat by the window. Ms. Carter was one of the few teachers who seemed to actually care, but even she couldn't do much. Noah had overheard other teachers discussing how they didn't want to get involved with the principal's kid for fear of appearing to give special treatment, or worse, crossing Dr. Richardson if they disciplined her son. It was a no-win situation, and Noah was caught in the middle. The bullying continued for weeks, escalating from verbal taunts to more physical interactions. In gym class, Tyler would accidentally hit Noah too hard during dodgeball. In the hallways, Drake would trip him or knock his books down. Even in Tuhentiuntan class, Marcus would whisper insults just loud enough for Noah to hear but too quiet for teachers to notice. Through it all, Noah remained silent. He didn't tell his mother. He didn't fight back. He just endured, growing more withdrawn each day, until the day of the Fall Festival. Westridge High's annual Fall Festival was a big event, a fundraiser with games, food, and activities that brought together students, parents, and faculty. Dr. Richardson had been working tirelessly to make her first festival as principal a success. Noah had volunteered to help, manning the book sale booth for part of the day. It was near the end of the festival when Noah spotted Tyler, Drake, and Marcus, huddled together, periodically looking his way and laughing. He tried to ignore them, focusing instead on organizing the remaining books, but a sense of dread settled in his stomach. He didn't have to wait long to discover what they were planning, as Dr. Richardson took the stage to thank everyone for coming and announce the amount of money raised. Tyler and his friends positioned themselves near the front of the crowd. Noah, standing at the side of the stage, felt his entire body tense as he watched them. His mother looked professional and poised in her pencil skirt and blazer, her auburn hair, the same shade as Noah's, pulled back in a neat bun. She was smiling. As she spoke about the school community coming together, unaware of what was about to happen, it happened so fast. As Dr. Richardson was announcing the final fundraising total, Tyler surged forward, while Drake created a distraction on the other side of the stage. Noah saw Marcus recording with his phone. Before anyone could react, Tyler had reached the stage and, in a swift motion, grabbed the hem of Dr. Richardson's skirt and yanked it upward. There was a collective gasp from the crowd. Dr. Richardson, caught completely off guard, dropped her microphone and quickly pushed her skirt down, her face flushing with humiliation. Tyler was already backing away, high-fiving Drake as they melted into the shocked crowd. Noah stood frozen for a split second, watching his mother's composure crumble as she tried to maintain dignity amidst whispers and stares. Something deep, inside him, something that had been building for months, finally broke free. He moved without thinking, weaving through the crowd with a speed and purpose that surprised even himself. He caught up to Tyler near the parking lot, where the three bullies were laughing and watching the video Marcus had captured. "Hey," Noah called out, his voice stronger and louder than it had been in months. Tyler turned, surprise registering on, his face before it was replaced with his usual smirk. "Well, look who it is. Come to defend Mommy's honor?" "Delete the video," Noah said, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. Marcus snickered, holding up his phone. "No way, this is going viral tonight." I said, "Delete it." Noah took a step forward. Tyler moved to block his path, towering over him. "Or what? Principal's pet? You going to cry to mommy again?" "Oh wait, she's probably too busy hiding from everyone who just saw her underwear." Noah felt a calm clarity wash over him. All the months of restraint, all the promises to keep peace for his mother's sake, none of that mattered now. This had gone too far. "Last chance," Noah said quietly. Tyler laughed and gave Noah a hard shove. "Get lost, loser." What happened next left all three bullies stunned. As Tyler pushed him, Noah didn't stumble backward as expected. Instead, he used the momentum to step to the side, grabbing Tyler's extended arm and using a basic jiu-jitsu technique to sweep his legs out from under him. Tyler hit the ground hard, the wind knocked out of him. Drake reacted first, lunging forward with a wild punch. Noah sidestepped easily, using Drake's momentum against him to pull him forward and off balance. A simple foot sweep later, and Drake joined Tyler on the ground. Marcus, eyes wide with shock, took a step back, still clutching his phone. "What the hell?" Noah advanced toward him, calm and focused in a way he hadn't been since practicing with his father. "The video. Delete it. Now." Marcus looked at his friends on the ground, then back at Noah. Something in Noah's expression must have convinced him, because he quickly fumbled with his phone. Okay. See? Deleting it." Noah watched as Marcus erased the video, then held the phone up to show him it was gone. "Now get out of here," Noah said, "and if you ever come near me or my mother again, what just happened will seem like a friendly greeting. Understand?" Marcus nodded frantically, helping his friends to their feet. Tyler, his face a mask of fury and humiliation, looked like he wanted to say something, but one glance at Noah's unwavering stare made him think better of it. The three of them retreated quickly, casting nervous glances back at Noah as they left. Noah stood there for a moment, his heart pounding not from exertion but from the realization of what he'd just done. Then he remembered his mother and hurried back toward the stage. Dr. Richardson was nowhere to be found. After asking a concerned-looking Ms. Carter, Noah learned that his mother had gone to her office. He found her there, sitting behind her desk, her usual composed demeanor replaced by quiet devastation. "Mom?" he said softly, closing the door behind him. She looked up, attempting a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Noah, I'm fine, just needed a moment." Noah sat in the chair across from her desk. "I'm sorry about what happened." "It's not your fault," she said quickly. "These things, they happen in schools. I'll handle it." She straightened some papers on her desk, a nervous habit he recognized. "Tyler Jackson and his friends will face serious consequences for this. I've already called their parents to come in immediately." Noah hesitated, then admitted, "I confronted them after it happened." His mother's head snapped up, alarm in her eyes. "Noah, what did you do?" "I made sure they deleted the video they took," he said, "and I stopped them when they tried to fight me." Dr. Richardson looked at him closely. "Stop them how?" Noah took a deep breath. "I used what Dad taught me. Jiu-jitsu. I didn't hurt them, not really, I just made them listen." To his surprise, his mother's expression softened. "You've been holding back all this time, haven't you? Even when they were bullying you?" Noah nodded, surprised she knew. "You knew about that?" "Of course I knew," she sighed. "Teachers talk, students talk. I didn't know how to handle it without making things worse for you. I thought if I stepped in as your mother, not as the principal, it would only escalate the targeting." She reached across the desk to take his hand. "I'm so sorry, Noah. I should have done something sooner. I didn't want to make your job harder," he admitted. "That's why I never fought back before." Dr. Richardson stood up and came around the desk to hug him. "Your father would be proud of you for standing up for yourself and for me." She pulled back to look at him. "But as principal, I still have to address what happened today, including your part in it." Noah nodded, understanding. "I know." The next week at Westridge High was dramatically different. Tyler, Drake, and Marcus had been suspended for 2 weeks, with additional disciplinary measures, including community service and mandatory counseling. The incident at the Fall Festival had been addressed at a special assembly where Dr. Richardson had spoken candidly about respect, consequences, and the zero-tolerance policy for harassment that would be strictly enforced moving forward. As for Noah, he had received a week of detention, a fair consequence that his mother had insisted on, to show there was no favoritism. But the detention was the least significant change in his school life. Word had spread quickly about how Noah had taken down 3 of the school's biggest bullies using some kind of ninja moves. The story had grown with each retelling. Some, versions claiming he had flipped all three simultaneously or used secret pressure points to immobilize them. Noah didn't bother correcting the exaggerations. The truth was impressive enough. Students who had previously ignored him now nodded in greeting as he passed in the hallways. A few even approached him to ask about jiu-jitsu, expressing interest in learning. Noah found himself talking more, standing straighter, no longer trying to disappear into the background. During his detention period, supervised by Ms. Carter, she had suggested he might want to start a self-defense club at school. Not to teach fighting, she clarified, but discipline, respect, and how to diffuse situations before they escalate. Noah was considering it. The most surprising change came 3 days after Tyler and his friends returned from suspension. Noah was at his locker when he sensed someone behind him. He turned to find Tyler standing there, alone and looking uncomfortable. Noah tensed, ready for whatever might come next, but Tyler raised his hand slightly. "I'm not here to start anything," he said, his usual arrogance notably absent. Noah waited, saying nothing. "Look," Tyler continued, clearly struggling with the words, what we did to you and your mom, it was messed up, way over the line." "Yeah, it was," Noah agreed simply. Tyler nodded, looking at the floor. "My dad, he was really disappointed in me. Said he didn't raise me to disrespect women like that, especially not someone like Dr. Richardson who's just trying to do her job." He paused. "And my mom, she couldn't even look at me for days." Noah could have said many things in that moment. Could have thrown Tyler's past taunts back at him or dismissed his attempt at apology. Instead, he remembered something his father had often told him. True strength isn't about dominating others. It's about knowing when to show mercy. "So what now?" Noah asked. Tyler shrugged. "I don't know, just wanted to say I'm sorry, I guess, for everything. Not just the festival thing, but all of it." He finally met Noah's eyes. "You could have really hurt me that day, but you didn't. That means something." Noah considered this. "It doesn't make everything okay." "I know," Tyler said quickly. "I'm not asking to be friends or anything, just maybe we can stop being enemies." After a moment, Noah nodded. "I can work with that." Tyler seemed relieved. As he turned to go, he hesitated, then added, "That stuff you did, the fighting moves, that was pretty impressive." A small smile tugged at Noah's lips. "Thanks. My dad taught me. He must have been a good teacher." "The best," Noah agreed. As Tyler walked away, Noah felt something shift inside him. Not forgiveness exactly, but a sense of closure. The weight he had been carrying for months seemed lighter somehow. Later that day, Noah joined his mother for the drive home, something they hadn't done in weeks, as their schedules had often conflicted. "How was your day?" Dr. Richardson asked, as they pulled out of the school parking lot. "Different," Noah replied. "Tyler Jackson apologized to me." His mother glanced at him, surprised. "Did he now? That's unexpected." "Yeah." Noah looked out the window at the passing scenery. "Mom, I've been thinking about what Ms. Carter suggested, about starting a self-defense club, and I think I'd like to try it. Not just the physical stuff, but the philosophy Dad always talked about. Respect, discipline, using skill to avoid fights rather than start them." Dr. Richardson smiled, the first genuine smile he'd seen from her in a long time. "I think that's a wonderful idea, Noah, and I think your father would be very proud of the young man you're becoming." Noah felt a warmth spread through his chest at her words. For the first time since they'd moved to Westridge, he felt like maybe, just maybe, this could become home. As they drove in comfortable silence, Noah reflected on everything that had happened. He had spent months hiding who he was, afraid that standing up for himself would make things worse. In the end, it was embracing his strength, both the physical skills his father had taught him and the inner resilience he'd developed through hardship, that had